practicing with me today. Today's class is a backbending class, but I actually don't want to call it a backbending class for a variety of reasons. One is that although backbending is super practical and necessary as a counterpose to all the stuff we do during the day, which is essentially moving forward, it basically just indicates a direction that the body is going in, which is back. And that's important because it definitely just sort of moves us in the normal range of motion, which is forward, and keeps us open and standing tall and keeps our chest open and our back strong. So there's a lot of good practical reasons for bending back. But I think it's a limiting term, mostly because I think the real benefit of these group of activities, group of movements, is the effect on the heart. And so I'd rather call it heart opening. That also for a variety of reasons. One is that we don't then measure our quality of posture by the range of motion, which some of us have a lot of and some of us don't. But it includes instead the emotional and sort of energetic components of that category of postures. And although when we open our bodies in this way, by default, we're opening the center of the heart, which is the center of balance in our system and obviously an essential emotional component in our lives. Just feeling the energy in that area, just taking breath to the heart, just feeling the subtleties of that kind of movement is very potent and powerful. And so this way we don't measure our process by range as much as feeling and sensation, and the effect that it has on our emotional body as well. And I think it's important to include that idea in the way we practice so that we remain not just physically open, but our heart stays open, especially in times where it's easy to contract and it's easy to close and it's easy to isolate, right? We're isolating right now, and that's the last thing we want to do emotionally. So I really want you to think about today's class as a heart-opening class, not just for the physical benefits that we reap, which are great, but the emotional necessity for that, and the challenge of staying open and feeling open and breathing open, even in places where we prefer to retreat or feel less than mobile, so that whether we're able to fully realize the actual posture to the degree we'd like, or we just are feeling it, we get something really meaningful out of it. So that's what I'm going to encourage you to think about today as we practice. Again, I'll be practicing with you most of the time, just so that you have a visual, but I prefer that you listen to my voice instead. And I do recommend 2 blocks, so if you don't have blocks, you can use books, and that usually works quite well. You can press pause, go grab your stuff, and come and meet us back, okay? Otherwise, we're gonna get started. So go ahead and slide to sit on your mat and come to any comfortable cross-legged seat that you like. And let's just begin interlacing the fingers, holding the hands on the chest. Your thumbs can rest on your collarbones. Close your eyes and just begin to breathe. And you don't even have to breathe loudly or bigger than you normally breathe. Just let it be subtle. And see if you can feel, as you inhale, just that slight movement and lift of the heart to the palms of your hands. Take about 5 of these, okay? Good. And so you might feel movement even though physically you don't feel like you're moving. And we'll keep that connection to breath in all of our postures today. So bring your hands alongside your hips, arms nice and straight on the breath. Take an inhale. Go ahead and raise your arms above your head. You can bring them to touch, or you can just let them face each other. And then turn the palms away and exhale, bring the arms down again. And we'll do that a couple more times. Inhale, raise the arms. If you like, you can even look up. And exhale, let the arms lower down by your sides. That's 2. You know I like fours. Do it again. Inhale, raise the arms. And exhale, lower the arms down for 3, and we'll do one more full one. Inhale, lift the arms up. And then turn the palms away and exhale the arms down, that's 4. Good, now this time take an inhale, raise the arms, and then you're turning your torso to the left, releasing your right arm down and leaning over into a side lean here. Good, come back up on the inhale, turn forward, turn to your right, lower the left arm down, exhale over to the side. Come back up on your inhale, both arms lift. Then exhale the hands behind the back and simply just come to the tips of your fingers. I know you can't see that, but bend the elbows a little, push the arms straight, lift the heart, lift the nose. Take 3 deep breaths into the chest. And now this action is a little more exaggerated or emphasized by the squeezing, the gentle squeezing of the back of the heart towards the front of the heart. Essentially you're bending back. This is a back bend. Doesn't feel like much. Okay. Bring your hands to center, switch the order of your legs, and let's just do those side leans and back bend one more time. Raise the arms on your inhale. You can turn again to the left, lower the right arm down, exhale over. Inhale, come back up. Turn to the right, exhale the left arm down and lean over. Inhale, come up. And again, exhale, fingertips behind. You can lean back a little, bend the elbows, open the chest, press the arms straight, and take a few breaths here, 2 or 3. And you can really feel the ribs, how they lift and separate when you breathe, and take that opening right up into the center of the heart. Almost like you have a string, lifting it towards the ceiling. And then release that down. Nice. And then take your legs and just place your feet onto the floor. And your knees will be bent. You can sort of hold your hands around your shins. Taking an inhale, rolling through to arch, and find that same lift of your sternum. As you exhale, hang on to your knees, curl all the way back, tuck your chin to your chest. Inhale, roll through. And exhale, curl back for 2. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in, roll through, lift the chest. And then you feel that contraction, that counter pose as you draw down. Good. Come back up to center. Go ahead and straighten your right leg forward. Drop your left knee to the side. Sweep open for stargazer. Extending through that top arm. Reaching through. And then lowering down. Straightening through your left leg. Bending your right knee. And switching sides. Pressing up and around. Maybe breathing into the side body. And then lower down. Nice. Come to hands and knees. All right, maybe walk your hands forward an inch or so past the shoulders. Okay? Just a little bit. You're gonna curl your toes into the mat. Find a cow back. So the tailbone is lifted to the ceiling. The heart center is lifting up. Try to hold the shape of your spine. Begin to lift your knees. And with your knees bent, begin to press through to a deep bent knee down dog. And I want you to really kind of bounce on the balls of your feet and push your hips up without straightening your legs right now. Instead, just feel the strength of your arms as the upper arm bones draw in, and the tops of the shoulders release away from your ears. And you find a nice depth of the spine towards the central core of your body. Good. Now as you inhale, go ahead and press the legs straight to your full extent for now. And then exhale, bend the knees. And just do that a couple more times. Moving through, inhale, and bending, exhale. 2 more times, inhale, and exhale. Last time, inhale. Nice long down dog, exhale, bend. Good. Straighten the legs. Start walking your hands back towards your feet. Finding yourself in about a hip bone distance stance. And then we're going to roll up to stand. Good. Urdhva Hastasana, lift the arms. Take your eyes up and your nose up and your heart up. And as you do that, lengthen your tailbone down, your low rib tips in. Breathe deeply in. Take your ears between your biceps, soften your knees a little, begin to lean out. We're coming only halfway. And then try shifting towards the balls of your feet and drawing those low rib tips in again. So tailbone back, top of the head, fingertips forward. Deep breath in, exhale, release. Nice, walk it back out to downward facing dog. And come back again if you can to that sort of springiness of your down dog. Up on the balls of the feet, bend the knees, and just sort of take a little bounce here. Good, so from here you can inhale, look forward, bend deeper, exhale, jump up. Inhale, come halfway up, and as you exhale, fold for one. Do it again, inhale, you might even bring your hands to your shins, and then exhale down for two. Inhale, exhale, three. Inhale, stay here, soften the knees, exhale, hands to the hips, and then press to the feet, lift up. Nice. Here we are. Ready for Surya Namaskar A. We're going to do 4 of these. So if your pace is a little different than mine, that's fine. You can move through. I might not do all of these with you. We'll have to see. Take an inhale, raise the arms. Exhale as you fold down, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, right? We just did this. Hands to the ground, exhale, step or hop back and lower through Chaturanga. Inhale, come through to up dog. And then exhale, go ahead and push back, downward facing dog. Breathe deeply for 3 breaths. Then bend the knees and come to the balls of the feet. Inhale, look forward, bend deeper, exhale, jump. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up to Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, fold, second one. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Hands to the ground, exhale back and lower down, Chaturanga. Inhale to up dog. And exhale to down dog. 3 breaths here. By the way, while we're practicing, keep in mind that you don't have to do every Chaturanga. You can modify by putting your knees onto the floor. You can press pause and take a child's pose. So definitely make this practice your own as we go through. Okay? Okay, once again, just bend the knees. Come to the balls of your feet like a coiled up spring. Press back through the chest. Inhale, gaze forward, bend, exhale, jump up. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Going down again, exhale, fold. 3rd one. Inhale, hands to the ground, exhale back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana, down dog. 3 breaths. See if you can keep the heart open, even in a posture that doesn't feel like a back bend. So heart opening is present in every posture you're doing. Good, bend the knees, come to the balls of the feet. Press the chest back. Inhale, look forward, bend deeper, exhale, jump. Inhale, arch, and exhale, fold. Big breath in, come all the way up. Do 1 more, guys, on your own. We'll meet in down dog. All right, take a couple of breaths in down dog and just set yourself again. So maybe you've been there for a while, maybe you just got there. Let's just all catch up together.
raise the right leg into the air nice and straight. Turn your right hip open, stacking it over your left hip. Bend your knee. This is twist or stretch. Start by looking under your right arm, so you're turning the chest open. Then turn your chest and look to your left leg, and maybe even under your left arm for a minute. Hello. Bring that leg slowly forward and step it between your thumbs. You might heel toe it once to the left. And release your back heel down. We'll come into Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2. Again, not what you put into a heart opening class necessarily, but can you feel where the breath is? And can you feel sort of the extension of the arms from the center of the heart? Let's take one more breath here. Maybe you want to sit a little deeper. And release your left arm to your back leg. Sweep your right arm up, but then bend the elbow. Take the hand behind the head. And as you lean back, press the hand into the skull and the skull into the hand. And then lift the heart. Very nice. Come back to Warrior 2. And we're going to just cartwheel the hands gently to the floor. You have to adjust your stance. Go a little wider. Right foot to the right. Back heel is lifted. Left hand is down. Sweep the right arm up. Turn and then extend the arm next to your ear. And then try to settle the hips down and reach. Good. Deep breath in, exhale. Bring the right hand down. We're going to step back to plank pose. And lower to the floor. Everything comes down at once. Good. Now from here, first stretch your left arm out. If you can do it, straighten the arm. Bend your right knee, reach back with your right hand, and let that foot sort of pull away. If you can, turn your right shoulder forward. Good, and switch sides. If this is not fully available to you, don't straighten the arm or don't bend the knee. Do half of this, okay? So you can do one of these two things. Nice, release that back down. We'll move back to down dog. You can go through up dog. You can push through plank pose and move to down dog. Good, bring your left leg up, turn the hip open, bend the knee. Here's your twister stretch. Turn and look under the left arm. Kind of rest my foot on the wall, that's nice. Square, and maybe look to the right. Good, and then go ahead and bring that knee through and step forward to your Warrior 2. Back heel down and rise up on your inhale to Virabhadrasana 2. So you want to make sure that your back arch and your front heel are in line. And your back leg is internally rotated in your hip socket just enough that the toes begin to turn in. That's sort of the directional or the indication of the position of your leg. Good, so take your right arm to your back leg and your left arm up. We're going to come into Windswept Warrior, Reverse Warrior. And then that top arm, you're going to bend the elbow. Take the hand behind your head, and as you lean into the side lean, can you press your skull into your hand and lift your heart? So you feel the energy of the heart, even though this not necessarily looks like a traditional back bend. You're gaining some of that heart opening, okay? Take one more breath where you are. Come back to Warrior 2, and then lower the hands down and go wider on your stance. So left foot to the left or right leg to the right. Right palm presses down. You can always use a block. Bring the left arm up and then reach it alongside your ear. Turn and hold. See if you can actually lift out of the bottom arm and rotate the chest towards the ceiling. One more. Exhale the left hand down. We'll all step to plank pose. Find your strong plank, and then everything comes down at once. Chaturanga to the floor. Untuck your toes. This time, bring the hands behind the back, interlace your fingers, and roll up slowly like a bound cobra. From here, you can also add the legs coming into a version of Shalabhasana, locust. Take one more breath, maybe lift a little higher, and then exhale, we'll move to down dog. And maybe pedal out your feet a little if you like. Couple breaths. Okay. So same thing, right leg lifts, the hip will turn open, you're gonna bend the knee. This time keep your chest square to the left leg. Breathe and look forward, and then as you exhale, slowly step up for warrior two. Lifting as you inhale. Find the same footprint we worked on last time, right? So back leg internally rotates. Heel is slightly wider than the toes. And now we're gonna come into extended side angle. So if you prefer forearm on the side, that's fine. You could use a block right next to your foot, or if bringing your fingertips to the outside of the foot works for you, you could do that too. Instead of extending fully, you're gonna bend the elbow, take the hand right behind the base of your skull, and then press the head into the hand. Allow the pelvis to draw forward a little, and breathe. Maybe practice drawing your low rib tips in just a little bit so you're not overdoing it in your ribs. Good, as you inhale, stretch the left leg alongside this is your arm, alongside your head. Bring your hand down as you exhale, and once again go wider on the stance, but this time drop your back knee to the floor. We'll come up to Anjaneyasana, but we're gonna use cactus arms instead today. So sit down, scoop the heart, and take a few breaths, maybe lean back. Come up slowly, hands to the ground. Pull your left hip so it's back over your knee, straighten through your right leg, and forward fold here. And again, just a nice sort of counter pose of flexion or forward bending to counter the back bending, but that doesn't mean you can't practice a heart opener here. So rather than be collapsed, can you draw the heart forward and release down without contracting in that heart center? Good. Go ahead and lift your chest. We're going to come back into Anjaneyasana. But this time, we're going to rotate the torso to the right, and as you do that, split your arms. See if you can find a twist here without the use of your arms. Likewise, hug the thighs in, outer hips in. Stay nice and tall. Take one more breath. Then curl your back toes into the mat. Press up into lunge. Lower your left fingers, extend the right arm alongside your ear. Inhale deeply. And then exhale, release the right hand down to the mat. And again, step back to plank pose. Right, this time we're going to move into up dog and hold. So exhale. Inhale, come up and make sure your shoulders are over your wrists. So wiggle your feet back a little if you have to. Push into the floor. Lift the heart. Nose to the ceiling if you like. Big breath in. Exhale back. Breathe. Good, and then you can lift your left leg up. So turning your left hip over your right, stacking and then bending the knee. Square to the right leg. Take a breath in, exhale, step your left foot forward, coming into your Virabhadrasana 2, your warrior 2. And then maybe use a block or your forearm on your left thigh if you like, otherwise shift your torso forward. Bring your fingertips to the little toe side of the foot. That's the fullest version of side angle, that will do. The right arm, as it comes up, take the hand behind the skull and press the head into the hand. Lift the heart and hold for a few breaths. And just enjoy not the motion, the movement, enjoy the sensations, enjoy the feelings. Right? Those are the subtleties of heart opening classes or practices or just having your heart open in general, right? Every posture has a heart opening element to it. Good. All right, bring your hands to the ground and then you'll widen your stance, left foot to the left. Right knee comes down to the mat. You can curl or uncurl your back toes, super up to you here. Bring the arms up on your inhale and then cactus the arms as you exhale. And then trying to keep your head and your hands sort of in line. Keep the hips shifting and the heart lifting and work back. Good, come up and bring your hands down and shift your right hip over your knee, wiggling your left leg out straight, flexing the foot. Remember that we're not contracting to come down, but we're actually moving the heart in the direction of that left foot as you fold. So, even in places that feel that they favor collapsing or constricting, we have to work hard to keep our hearts open. Whether it's fear, whether it's hurt or grief that would encourage us to contract and constrict, our practice is to work against those instincts. Your mat is a great place to start with that. Come back up slowly, rebend the knee, come back to Anjaneyasana, lift the arms as you inhale, and now we're going to turn to the left and split the arms. Good. And you can let those hips shift a little and work that twist a little more. So I was imagine I'm pushing my hand into the air to turn. Good. Curl your back toes, lift your knee, lower the right hand down, bring the left arm alongside your ear, breathe in deeply. And then exhale, bring the hand down. Let's go through our vinyasa, holding our up dog, one breath at a time. 3 breaths. Exhale it back and stay. Take like 2 more breaths, and that way you can sort of rest and kind of find that heart opening again. Catch your breath, and we'll move on. Okay, this time we're going to come again to twist or stretch. You have the option to come to Kamakkarasana, which is wild thing. So if you want, you can turn open. You can shift your shoulders over your wrists and drop that right foot. Pivot around and find a little bit of a back bend. And then coming back through, right leg lifts, inhale. Exhale, step your foot forward. This time you want to step your right foot towards your right hand. And we'll inhale to high lunge, facing forward. Good. Biceps near your ears if you can do it. The right hand is going to come and grab the back of your left leg. So you have to open that right shoulder a little and get hold. But then I want you to try to turn your chest forward and lift it up. Keep your ear and your bicep in line the whole time as you lean back. Nice. Slowly lift on your inhale. Hands come down to the ground as you exhale. Drop your back knee. And one more time, shift your left hip back over your knee, straighten through your front leg. Now, you can stay here. You can do my favorite variation. Let's see if I can just turn forward so you can see it. It's just to see what's happening. The foot is flexed, but you're going to take this thigh and you're going to rotate it out. So because of that, my toes are turning out. And what happens here is you get a slightly different sensation in the hamstrings. Let me say it that way. So if your instinct is to sort of recoil in that sensation, how do you stay open in it? Good. You can even take this down a little further into the fold and pause. One more breath. Good. And then as you lift up, you're going to rebend the right knee, slide it next to your left knee, and come and stand up on your shins. Now you can always take the front edge of your mat if you want, just fold it forward or towards you once, and then come onto the padding so you've got something extra cushiony underneath your knees. Everybody for now is going to take their hands to their low back. So I personally like my fingertips up, but that's not always accessible, so fingertips down or up is fine. And you're going to try to get a little bit of pressure into the sacrum to draw that tailbone down and lift that pubic bone up. So you see that action of pressing down. Yeah, it's almost like a little tuck, but I don't like that word. So just lengthen. And then pressing down into the shins, lift the heart and the nose. And take your first Ustrasana here. Keep pressing the pelvis forward and leaning back. If you're not comfortable with your head back, keep your chin on your chest. Remember I said it's all about the movement of the heart, so breathe the chest up towards the chin if you need to. One more breath. Good. And then press into the shins and sit back down. I'm going to have you stay on your knees sitting in Vajrasana here. And we'll take just a brief shoulder opener, which will be the arms of Gomukhasana. I'll turn around so you can see it from behind. You're going to sweep the left arm out to the side, internally rotate the arm so the thumb points backwards, and then swing the arm and find the upper back. Right arm overhead, find your fingers. If not, use a strap, or I've seen people use their shirts. Right, we can get very creative in these times of no props. By all means, use whatever you have, just don't do more than you can do. If you really need the prop, just back out a little bit. And we'll take a few breaths here. This is a good place also to practice not overarching your back while you hold your hands. Instead, pull your front ribs towards your back ribs and settle down into your heels. And just work on lifting the heart instead of pushing your ribs forward. All right, let's unwind and go ahead and do the other side. I always need one hand to help my right hand up personally, or you can use a strap again. And you're finding, whatever you can hang on to without, doing too little or too much. And then softening in a little bit. Very nice. All right, unwind that. Roll your shoulders a few times if you need to. Let's come to down dog and we'll do the other side. So for my space, I'm gonna sit this side out for a moment and just ask you to lift your left leg up into the air. Take an inhale, roll your hip open, bend the knee. You can stay here in twister stretch, or you can shift forward a little and then start to drop your left foot over to the right side, flipping your dog, so to speak, and coming into a 3/4 wheel, let's say, or if wheel and side plank had a baby, that's what this would be, right? Good. And then go ahead and flip it around. Keep the right leg in the air, and you're gonna just slowly bring your left foot forward towards your left hand. Widen your stance a little, that's for balance, and then lift on your inhale, high lunge. And then the left arm swings behind, and you're gonna find your right hamstring, back of the leg, okay? To get it, it's kind of like you wanna open up, but then can you square your chest forward and up, and then reach up. Head stays next to your bicep as you reach back, nose towards the ceiling, breathe deeply. Don't worry about how far you go, think about moving the energy of the heart up and open. Nice. Slowly release up on your inhale. And as you exhale, bring your hands down, back knee down, shifting your right hip back over your knee, straighten through your left leg. Once again, take that forward fold for a few breaths with the option, right, to externally rotate the legs so the toes turn out and you hit a different part of the back of your leg. Put your arms wherever you like so there's no tension in your shoulders, there's no resistance in your arms. Stay open. Good. And then you can come back up and once again slide your left knee next to your right knee. If you liked having that padding under your knee, fold the top of your mat in and bring your knees onto it. And we'll either repeat, so you can repeat the Ustrasana we just did or go a little deeper. Some options would be to have blocks just positioned at the highest height on the outside of your shin, if you think you need the height. Curling your toes into the mat kind of brings your heels up a little. If that's not your thing, you can keep the top of the feet down. But imagine you had your hands, you could even start with your hands on your low back. Lengthen the tailbone down, lift the heart up. You'll have to lean back a little to get your hands on the blocks or the heels. But once you make contact, press the hips forward slightly, thighs roll in, heart lifts up. Just worry about the heart, don't worry about the head. You can certainly drop it back if you like. Press into your shins and slowly come up. Take your time. And then sit back down in Vagrasana. I always say to my students, if you have an overwhelming urge to take a child's pose, if you feel like that in your low back, you're not doing enough to lengthen your tailbone down, draw your navel in and up, and inwardly rotate your thighs. It's just feedback for you to know that has to happen a little bit more. So you're not pressing unnecessarily harshly into your lumbar spine, your low back, okay? All right, let's take a couple of breaths here. Once again, just interlace your fingers, let your palms rest on your chest, thumbs by your collarbones. Take a few breaths here. You know, after back bends, you can really feel what it does to the physiology of your heart. You feel your heart increase, your heart rate increase. So there is definitely energy and stuff pumping, blood, oxygen, right? We are really energizing this part of our body. So it's not just a physical movement we're doing when we back bend, when we bend back, when we open the heart, we're drawing all of the different types of energies in our body to this space. Right? Okay. One more little set, coming into downward facing dog. Okay? So, find your down dog. Maybe bend your knees, press back deeply, chest towards thighs, pull back on the thighs, try to anchor your heels towards the mat. Maybe notice how your down dog feels now. One more time to lift the right leg. There's no Karasana now, there's no, just come into twist or stretch. Enjoy either the opening or the squaring off, whatever you like here. Breathe in deeply. And then slowly exhale, bring your right foot towards your right hand. Widen your stance, and one more inhale to high lunge. One more exhale, bring the hands behind the back, interlace your fingers this time. Sit deeply and stretch both arms back. Hands towards the back of your left thigh, or even maybe knee if you can get that low. Maybe index fingers to calf. And then press the heart up. Lift the nose. Move the heart with your breath, but think about hugging the floor so you feel balanced and secure. Good. Release up from there. Both hands come to the ground, back knee comes to the floor. And then right foot is going to work over to the right. Once or twice, turn your toes out. Take your right hand out further to the, left hand to the left. So your stance is wide from left hand to right foot, and then reach back with your right hand, bend the left knee, and push that foot into the hand. So you get this really broad, open, pulled apart posture. Very nice. Come out of that slowly and set yourself up to step into plank pose. All right, breathing in. Chaturanga. Up dog. Now stay here and see if you can bend the elbows to touch the thighs to the ground and keep the arms straight. So this is like a mega deep cobra. If it's too much, go to up dog. Good. Curl your toes, push through plank pose, downward facing dog. And let's do the other side. Left leg up, inhale, bend the knee. Find your twist. That's it. And then gently draw the left knee in and step your left foot towards your left hand, rising on your inhale, high lunge. And we'll take one more yoga mudra. Try to think about taking the opposite index finger on top, which is always messes me up. I have to think really hard about that. Habits are hard to break. And then find your heart opener here. About 3 breaths. Good. Gently let the hands come to the ground and your back knee to the floor, and walk your left foot once or twice out to the left, turn the toes out. So I get a lot of play here now in my hip opening. Right hand down but out so you can lean away from the thigh, and then reach back with your left hand and pull the foot away. So I have this nice open chest opener here, holding. Yeah. And then come out slowly. And we're going to do one more of those transitions, if you can. Plank pose, chaturanga, up dog, hold, soften your knees down, widen the legs if you want to, bend the knees, and bring your head towards your toes. Or not, right? Good. As you release, come to a wide knee child's pose and settle here. Now you can turn your head to one side. You can certainly change this variation if you like. Bring your knees together. Maybe you want to thread the needle and take one arm underneath for a little twist. I'm going to take a couple of breaths here. Stay until you feel like your system has settled. So you can always press pause and stay for a few more breaths and join us when you're ready. If you feel pretty good, you're going to come up and bring the legs around and in front of you. And we're going to come onto the mat, lying down, knees bent and feet on the floor. And when you do that, you want to walk your heels in so that the heels are basically underneath your knees. So, more or less perpendicular. Everybody's different. Okay? So this is Setu Sarvangasana, bridge pose. I like to just almost make sure I can just about touch my heels. You don't have to, but for me that measurement works, so you'll have to figure it out for yourself. I'm going to come up on the inhale, rolling the hips up slowly, and pause. And then you can leave the arms by your sides, but just bring them in a little closer, or you can really roll them under, interlace your fingers, and come to the backs of your shoulders. And then press into the feet to lift the pelvis, press into the shoulders to lift the heart. 5 breaths. Maybe here the practice is just to breathe into the heart. Don't worry about how high you go. and then lower down. And we're going to come into what's known as constructive rest. Open your feet wide, let your knees rest together, neutral back. We're going to repeat that one more time with the option for variation or just to do it this way again. So that's, of course, always up to you. Right? So let's set it up again for a second one. And when you're ready, come up and either stay here or you can start to shift your weight into your right leg. Bring your left knee to your chest and then straighten through the left leg and then press up. Yeah, try to get the hips as high as you can. And then other side. Same thing. I like to sit a little lower, knee to chest, straighten the leg, and then press up. Just helps. For me. And then come down. Constructive rest. So, I mean, ultimately, when we do any kind of a heart opening, a back bending class, we know, the finishing pose is usually Urdhva Dhanurasana, which it will be today, full wheel. I will say, don't do it if it's not in your practice. You can use blocks against the wall angled, so it would look like this. I won't be able to fully demonstrate it on either side of your head so your hands can go on the blocks. That's a nice way to sort of find a variation or a little help up. Otherwise, just do Setubandha Sarvangasana again. Do another bridge pose or two. We're going to do 2 wheels. Okay, so we'll hold the first one about, 4 breaths or so you have room and time for the second one. Let's set it up. So again, similar measurement. You can always adjust when you come up. Go ahead and reach the arms up, bend at the elbows, and bring your fingers to point towards your shoulders. Hug the elbows in. Then come up on your inhale to lift your hips. Press into the hands to lift your head and see if you can find a full wheel. And then move your chest a little towards the wall you're looking at so your shoulders move over your wrists. You can even walk your feet in a little or out a little. Take a couple of breaths. Good, and then come down. Chin to chest, constructive rest. I always say do not hug your knees into your chest till you know you're done. If you know you're done, you don't want to do another one, take a moment and then you can hug your knees to your chest. Otherwise, we're going to do one more. And by the way, if it's in your practice, you can add the same variation to the wheel that you did to your bridge pose or just do another bridge. So I'll talk you through that as well, and then we'll cool down. So start it the same way. Big inhale as the hips rise, push into your hands, lift your chest. And then if you want, you can walk your feet in a little, stay here, or shift your weight to your right leg, left knee to chest, left leg up, press up. Yeah. And then slowly come down with the left leg. Sorry, don't come down. Shift to the left leg, do the same with the right leg. Flex the foot, point the foot, whatever you want. And then come down with the leg, come down. Oh. Constructive rest. Why don't you take your arms in the air and just gently and slowly circle the wrists. Don't do anything too jarring, but certainly this is extension of the wrists. You might want to, this is flexion of the wrists. Let's not get that wrong. So if you want to flex the wrists, you can just sort of get a nice counter pose. You can also sort of just get a little energy into the hands. And then we've wasted enough time to then hug the knees to the chest. Excellent. Go ahead and take a few breaths in Apanasana with your knees at your chest. And then we can take this into Happy Baby if you want. The feet and the knees will open wide. Reach for your feet. Bend your knees. Draw them down towards the floor. This feels really nice on the low back. emotions like judgment or negativity or gossip, or that's not an emotion, but things of that nature, those are all restrictive, constrictive acts of the heart being closed. So see how regular heart opening affects your perspective. All right, hug the right knee to your chest, stretch your left leg down to the floor. You can flex the foot, create a nice solid foundation in this left leg, and then work to straighten through the right leg. Hold it however you can without having to deeply bend the knee. If you have to bend the knee to pull it in, I think you lose the hamstring stretch. So you're better off to move the leg away or just hold with your arms, however you get your best stretch. Good. Then switch sides. Sorry, my ankle cracks all the time. Left knee in, right leg straight to the ground. Press down and out through the heel. Hug in through the left thigh. And then straighten the left leg up and hold the leg, foot, use a strap, whatever you need. And then taking both feet onto the floor, let's finish with the sort of the universal donor of yoga postures, the supine twist. It's an excellent warm-up for every posture. It's an excellent counter pose for every posture. So shift your hips to the right. You can wrap if you want, right knee over left, or stack your knees, whatever you like. Drop the knees over to the left. And how about today? Try interlacing your hands behind your head and dropping that right shoulder to the floor. I like that, but you can do whatever you like here. Good. I would roll to your left side, gently unwind the legs, come to your back, and simply do the other side. Left hips, or hips to the left, left knee wraps or stacks, and you can drop the knees to the right, and maybe bring your hands behind your head if you like that. Good. Roll a little to the right just to help unwind the spine. And then on your back, center your hips. Stretch your legs forward. You can finish your practice in Shavasana, or I'm going to sit up. And you certainly can do the same, but I would definitely encourage you to pause somewhere with your eyes closed. This is a time in our practice where we allow things to settle. We soak in both the physical postures as well as the energy and the emotions of the postures, and allow whatever is ready to be released to start to make its way up to the surface. So this is important work right here. Some would say this is the most important work for the benefit of integration. So don't ever shortchange that. Even if you're by yourself and you're in the middle of your living room, stay. And stay open. And let your breath get soft. All effort subsides. You can stay here as long as you like. I just want to thank you so much for practicing with me today and continuing to figure out this new medium of virtual classes. It certainly doesn't replace the personal connection we all feel when we're together, but we keep our hearts open
to each other, to the moment, and may the space between where you are and where you want to be inspire you. Namaste.